Value theory is the idea that why do we as humans place value on certain things? We as humans perhaps are a unique creature. There are other creatures that do this, but we as humans are a unique creature, and that we seem to place a greater value on ethics and aesthetics and other things where we say, you know, things have value, that things are good, things are beautiful, things are right, things are wrong. And so the question here is how do we as humans, how do we actually arrive at our values? Are values culturally bound? Are they, you know, like are ethics simply a function of your society? That, you know, as an American, I believe, you know, this kind of thing is right, and, you know, stealing is wrong, and murder is right, and capitalism is good, and, you know, we can go on and on. You know, I mean, and are those things culturally bound? If you went to another culture, they might view those things very differently. As a matter of fact, anthropologists have studied and found quite divergent ethical beliefs about all kinds of things, some that are quite obscure. And so what happens is there actually some undergirding of morality that actually is real, that's true, that, you know, things like murder is wrong because murder is wrong? Or is it simply culturally bound? And one of the things we can sort of do is aesthetics is the study of art or beauty. And what essentially aesthetics is it's an area that in modern day it's mainly the philosophy of art, or the study of art. And it's basically, you know, getting at what is art and questions like that. But it also originally was, you know, what is beauty? That would be an aesthetic question. How do we know that something is actually beautiful? We as humans tend to think things like you know, that, you know, things like sunsets are beautiful. But we also think things like, you know, certain actors and actresses are beautiful. You know, as an example, Ryan Gosling. I mean, you know, that a lot of women talk about him being very attractive. I don't know. I probably have to look up his picture in all honesty. I think I know who he is, but it's kind of, I just don't watch very many movies anymore. You know, but why is it that we would say that Ryan Gosling is an attractive man? You know, and so what happens is we get to this issue of, you know, how do we know that he is attractive? And one of the things that sometimes happens with this is that that there are different theories, that some people would say it's just cultural, you know, that we as Westerners, we as Americans, ascribe a certain muscular, a certain eye type, a certain chin type as beautiful. Other people argue that in fact that there is something more fundamental, that beauty is in fact various things. Some people will say it's a mathematical principle, that the more symmetrical your face is, that the more similar, like this side of your face, if I were to flip this, that it would also, I think I could probably actually do that, but I don't know right offhand. I'd have to find it. I had it here earlier. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, but you know, for example, this side of my face is the exact same as this side of my face. That if my mouth is equal distance apart, that, you know, my nose is very symmetrical, my eyes are sit at the same, and that my nose is proportional in size to my eyes, and my hair is, you know, my hair is a little messy right now, but which is fine. I actually like it better than combed. But you know, the more symmetrical, if my ears are more symmetrical, if all this stuff is true, that I would be more attractive, and that Ryan Gosling is a person who has a very symmetrical face and a very, you know, very symmetrical face in that regard. Now, the other thing that's true is that, you know, there are some people that would say that in fact, that it's also that actually is not just something that we as Americans or Westerners ascribe, but there is something fundamental that, you know, when you're trying to pick a spouse, somebody with whom to have children, you want your children to be healthy. And somebody with a more symmetrical face is a healthier person. The people who've had strokes, people who've had palsy and other disorder, other diseases or other things, oftentimes have faces that are not symmetrical. Perhaps chromosomal issues cause eyes and different parts to be disproportional in size. And so what happens is that it's actually that not only is symmetry a mathematical concept that creates beauty, but that there is an underlying idea that in picking a spouse, that the more symmetrical, the more, clean the skin, the more, perfect the skin, the younger they look, that all those are signs that you would not only be a healthy person who will be capable of earning money as a spouse, and raising children and taking care of them, and you won't be left with the burden of making money and taking care of the kids, and that your kids will be healthy and live a long life, that all of this is part of what we're looking for, that when we see beauty, we are seeing things that indicate health, that indicate ability, that indicate other things. And so the idea here is what actually makes people beautiful? Is it something that is inherent, that is actually, we can actually find a groundwork of saying, these things are just a function of health, and so they therefore prove, and that's what we're actually looking at? Or are these just arbitrary? Is beauty arbitrary? As a final example of this, when one time I remember years ago, it's been 15 years ago probably, on Saturday Night Live, that I remember one time there was a video with Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee, her husband at the time. Now, since then, she's been married to Kid Rock and maybe somebody else. I don't know. This was back when she was on Baywatch, which would have been back when many of you were not yet born. And so the case is that this was years ago, and there was a thing in which it was just sort of a really stupid skit, but it was a skit in which she is in the hospital, and she's in an alien hospital in some foreign planet. And there are these weird-looking doctors who are aliens, and they're there taking care of her. And Tommy Lee is there, and the doctors keep going, she's just beautiful. They go, we know that she shouldn't be beautiful by our cultural standards, but we look at her and we know that she is beautiful. And that was sort of the whole joke. And they went on and on, and they kept talking about, I know she doesn't have 4 eyes and 6 arms and is green. I know that, but she's beautiful, And the idea that, what they would consider beautiful was somehow one type, that it was cultural, but that they could see that, her beauty was in fact universal, that it was not just something that was a Western ideal. And so I always remember that as sort of that kind of idea of where beauty comes from. So, all right. And ethics, I should add on that ethics are essentially that same type of thing, that ethics, essentially, what is right and wrong, that some people would argue that morality of what is right and wrong is in fact some people would argue that it's cultural, and some people would argue that there's something fundamental about how, just like beauty indicates health, that right and wrong indicate how we are going to best live and prosper and be successful in life. And ethics are essentially a function, that they are essentially, that what is right and wrong are essentially things that will help us to be the happiest. That in the end, while they may not appear on the surface, that in fact they will make us more successful.